Oh, hello there. Isn't it pretty out here today? Welcome back to the art room. I'm really glad you could make it. And what better way to open up our show about drawing horses than to be going through the woods on a beautiful day. We're going to be doing horse portraits, and we'll use white paper, charcoal. If you don't have charcoal, it's okay to use black chalk. That'd be fine. An eraser, a pencil, and just a little bit of art talent thrown in to boot. So sit back and relax, and giddy up, Nicholas. Let's get back to the art room, because I can hardly wait to start our drawing today about horse portraits. Okay, welcome back to the art room. I put that horse back in his stall. Don't worry, he's eating a nice crisp apple right now. He's very, very happy after that walk through the woods. So we get to draw horses today, and I'm so happy about that. When I was teaching back in elementary school, we always drew horses as part of our second and third grade lesson. This one's a little bit more advanced, this charcoal horse that I'm going to take you through in a minute, but it's just as doable, and I promise you, if this looks too hard for you, you're going to be drawing horses like this in no time. So we'll go over our supply list. We're going to need a piece of white paper, a pencil, a charcoal pencil if you have one, and if you don't have one, I'll tell you different ways to get around that. A black chalk pastel out of our pastel set, a kneaded eraser, a white eraser, try to stay with white, don't use the pink kind, and a paper towel. And then reference. We'll talk about this term reference. All of we artists need to have something to observe details from, and that's either going to be the real object or a picture of that object, and we're lucky now to have the internet to use as reference. I was able to find this neat picture of a horse, and that's what I used when I was drawing our horse today, that reference. Maybe you can see the similarities, even though I kind of went off a little bit on mine. Love this brown one here. That one's so pretty. I kind of copied some of his details too, and that tan one is just a lovely horse too. So you won't need any reference today because you have me, but if you do draw things like this in the future, don't let anybody tell you that you don't need some reference. You just don't make this stuff right up off your head. Okay, well, let's get started then. So I've just got a regular pencil here, and we're going to lay down some basic shapes. When I was a kid, I never really liked drawing with basic shapes. I always fought with my art teacher about laying down hard lines right off the bat, but I was always then kind of discouraged when my picture tended to have a lopsided look, or things just weren't the way they should be. So basic shapes, a great way to get some really good proportions going in your drawing, no matter if it's a horse or a car or whatever you're drawing. So the second part of that is that we want to try to stay light with our drawing. So if you can hold it in such a way that your pencil isn't going to be touching down on the paper very hard. Some people like to hold it like this. I do sometimes. Sometimes I just hold it like this. But try to stay light, because we're going to be doing a fair amount of erasing when we get to our chalk and charcoal part. But it's frustrating when you have these dark lines in your paper that you can't get rid of, that you don't want to see anymore. So here we go. All right, so a horse's head. Right about here, we're going to see if we can sketch in a circular shape. You see what I'm doing there? I'm going to draw these lines darker than I would normally because I want you to be able to see them. But I would actually probably not make them that dark if it was just me all alone. So this is his cheek area that we're talking about. Okay, this round spot right here, that's what we're sketching right now, that cheek area. So and then we'll come down to the left and move down a little bit on our paper down here, and we're going to make another circle. This one's smaller though. Okay, and just go round and round with it until you kind of like the shape of it. Alright, so we're going to then pretend that we're kind of like stretching a string or maybe a rubber band around these shapes here, and we'll join that on the bottom, and we'll join that. Well, see how easy it is? It looks like a horse already. And then we'll join that on the bottom here where his mouth will go in a moment. You getting it? You getting it? I hope so. I know you are. So that's a good start on the head. Let's see if we can locate where his neck will go. So right up here at the top of that circle, make sure you don't come down here. It'll look a little odd if he's got this like ball-shaped head. We'll just make that beautiful arch of our horse's neck. For right now, we'll just send it off the paper like that. Okay, and down here I'm going to make that chin a little more pronounced here. You can do that too. Down here I'm going to give him a little more of a kind of a triangular shape in his mouth area right there. And then let's come in here and we'll make a stroke downward, and that's going to indicate our horse's front of his neck there. All right. Doing great. And we'll kind of cut back here with a shape too, because that will represent the horse's upper shoulder and where the rest of his body might attach. Okay, it looks like a horse already. Well, let's see if we can place his eye. I'm saying right around here someplace. We're going to need to locate an eye. If you don't like it the first time, you can always move it around. I've done that many times. But right in here, let's draw kind of a oval shape. Right about in there. Okay, that's going to represent where his eye will go. And let's come down to his nose. We need a front nostril. And so front nostril we'll put in there. And you may see the other nostril on the other side of his face there. Okay. All right. Sketching. Love it. Up for his ear. So a horse has some different positions that its ears can be in. If it's mad and running fast, you'll see the ears angling back. If it's very alert, they might be standing up. If he's kind of at rest, like our horse, they might be kind of just laying out forward like this. So it's kind of like drawing a leafy shape. We'll see if we can just very lightly draw in a triangle coming off here like that. Okay, that's his ear on our side, and then on the other side we'll do another ear projecting back like that. It looks a little higher than our ear for right now because it's on the other side of his head. Great. All right, let's do a couple of details. We'll refine this eye a little bit, and what I want to do is show the little place in the corner of your eye here, like that, with your tear duct, I guess you would say it. Let's close up on that eye a little bit here, and we'll draw that eye. So the tear duct right here, and then we'll come up a little bit like that and angle it back on the top and the bottom like that. Okay, great. We'll just leave that the way it is for a moment. Some hair, some mane, so we'll draw in a few pieces of. You can get creative with that. I like to make horse's hair blowing in the wind. I think that's kind of fun. And then there'll be a little more of it coming down like that. Eventually we'll be firming up all these lines. Okay. this ear, I'm going to move back just a bit there. Okay, let's do a ear refining here. We'll make the front edge of the ear like so, and then we'll come over here and we'll make the front edge of that other ear. Okay. All right. The horse's head itself is a lot like a human head, where you've got a brow. This is where your nose and your eye meets, and your brow sticks out a little bit. So when we're drawing this, move some of that hair out of the way. When we're drawing this, we want a little depression right here in the horse's front of his face there. So we'll make a little depression right there. Coming down around his nose. Always making little corrections here with my kneaded eraser. We'll go up in the air a bit here, just a little bit higher, and then we'll come around like that. Okay. Till we get down here, and then this part will be his mouth or her mouth. And we'll just kind of come up, give him kind of a little smile for a minute. But our horse is going to be having a bit in its mouth. That's that part they chew on, the bit. And then down here on the chin, a little more chin there. And then we'll come up like that. And we're really firming in some of our lines. Okay. So I can go ahead and get rid of some of my imaginary lines for now if I want. That's the great thing about the working light and having the kneaded eraser. Okay, let's go back into his eye. And horses have these wonderful big eyelashes. And for them it serves a purpose of keeping the flies out of their face and keeping all kinds of dust and things when they're riding along. So we'll come in here and we'll do this part above here as an eye, a bank of eyelashes like that. And then down in here we'll draw the lower part of the eye here, like that. And then we'll make kind of a lower eye black part of their eye there, around their eye. And then I'll do a pupil separation. That's the dark part of your eye and the light part of your eye right in there. Okay, I think we can pull back a little bit now here. Let's see. Okay. All right. We'll draw some bridles in. You don't even have to have a bridle on your horse if you don't want to. If you just want him to look natural, don't put a bridle in at all. But I am, because I showed you one in the beginning. So around the top of his ear, I'll come down here with a line that's pointed towards his mouth. Okay. And I'll make kind of a strap of leather out of it. Okay. And right here you can draw a ring. Mine's a little bit too far down there. Let's see. Okay, draw a ring right in there. And put yourself a ring in there. Looking good. From this part of the bridle down across the back of their chin. Another piece right here. Okay, these are all just preliminary sketches, and remember, we can change any of this stuff we want to. Up here then, another piece of the bridle. This one's kind of wider. It looks like it's got padding on it. And it's got enough padding that it's kind of got a thickness to it. Okay. Like that. And then over here, another piece of leather. I'm representing another part of the whole bridle. Like that. And then up here, a piece of bridle that also goes across the horse's forehead, and we're going to be seeing a little bit of it as we pass through our upper mane here. Okay, great. Let's kind of think about where our mane is going to be. So if you love horses with great big gorgeous manes, I think that's what we'll do here. Let's pull back a little bit more once again here. Okay, so my mane is going to be coming up off, make some little indicator lines here, coming off the horse's neck, because it's all of it's kind of cascading over to one side. So while it's doing that, it's got a thickness, so it's sort of rolled over like that. So this is kind of the big part of that that's rolled over. And then later on, when we get our charcoal going here, we'll have lots of pieces out like this, but no point in drawing those yet because we'll be covering those up in a minute with our charcoal. Okay. So we've got a pretty good start so far. I think at this point we're going to move over to our charcoal and our charcoal pencil, or you might be using black chalk. Here we go. I'm just going to, now I'm still looking at my reference here, and I'm gonna be drawing in some of the details that I think we're going to need here. And I'm going to go around his ear, making everything just a little darker here. Okay, I'm not doing a lot of not going to be doing a lot of shading yet at this point, but I'm trying to include some details here, a little shape there around that. And let's see, up here is a part of his bridle that's coming down. Alright, like that. The only way to do this is just by observing. You need to have something to go by, even though, I have to say, one of my favorite things to do then after I have a reference like this is to go away from it and actually do what I want to do. Right here on his cheek, a little buckle thing is going to happen here, so I'm just kind of drawing a little boxy shape right there. Hey, by the way, Donna, if you're watching this, I hope I'm doing this right. Donna was our neighbor back when we were kids, back on 10th Street, and Donna knows everything there is about horses. I don't, but I sure do like to draw them. Okay, so we're just lining in some of these things. Going over my lines here, and at this point I think I will put it into high gear for a little bit. I'll stop when I need to. So you notice right here when I drew his ear, I'm always making these little judgments about what doesn't look good and what does look good, and that's the way you work on these things. That's the whole point of making the line so light to begin with. So I'm going to pause here just for a minute and close up on the eye here, because that eye, I know you're going to want to really kind of obsess over that horse's eye. I just love the horse's eye. So here's how I'm going to do mine here. What I'm going to do is color in that pupil area black or dark, and then around the edge I'm going to leave that part of it lighter. I'm going to do a little bit of shading here to give it kind of a look of dark to light. There's a black area of skin here that we want to include, and I'm extending out here a little bit into his tear duct area here, and once again I have my reference that I'm looking at, and now so this part right here is really the horse's eyelashes, so I'm going to do some little gentle upstrokes there to make it look like, you know, my horse has feathery eyelashes, and then above here some dark right there. Okay, so for now that's going to do, I think, with the eye. So we'll kind of move on, you know, keep on going in fast motion with the rest of it, so the video just doesn't get too long and boring. Okay, well, at this point I'm going to get out my black chalk or charcoal, whatever you've got. I'm having to use this black chalk here. It's going to, I think, work out really well. This is from our set that we've been using, the Praying Gallery set, all along. So now, to make things really dramatic, I'm going to come in here and add lots and lots of black charcoal, black chalk. Okay, so I'm going to get my white paper towel here. You can use your finger if you want. Half the time I do, so don't worry about getting chalk dust all over your fingers. I'm going to kind of polish this in here. Okay, so while I've got this chalk dust all over the place, this charcoal, now's the time for me to make some kind of final decisions about the shape of my horse's head and where the whole thing's going. So, as I said, I always like to use a white eraser whenever possible, because the pink of a pink eraser can get all over and make your paper look kind of pink. So as I look at this, I'm going to add, actually take away a few things. I'm going to make his chin a little bit bigger here. I'm going to erase a little bit of that. Make the horse's chin a little bit bigger. So you're always going to be making these kind of decisions here. And I'm going to make his face just a little bit bigger there. Okay, I like those proportions. Yeah, all right. Let's take our kneaded eraser here, and I'm going to kind of follow around here and make the shape a little more defined. It's hard to get real close with your charcoal. Yay. Okay. So now comes the time when we put some tone into our picture. So here we go. I'm going to add some dark tone here into his ear and kind of blend that in. Some other area behind here, I'm going to put a little bit of tone. You don't have to rub down too hard with the chalk here. Trying to make a nice blend on the top of his ear. I'm going to blend that ear in a little bit more with my fingertip. Right there. I'm going to add some dark tone to the top of his mane right in there, like that, and pull that down with my fingertip. I know I'm going fast. Stop the video if you need to. All these little decisions that you make along the way are a lot different. Every horse is different that you're going to draw, so you'll just have to take it step by step. Here's something I like to do, though. I'll take a little bit of the black actually off my background, and I'll use that for some tone on your fingertip here. A little bit of tone there where his nose is, like that. I'm going to come down here and make the end of his nose a little darker. Okay, like that. And right in here at the horse's temple, we need to show a dark area right there. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of definition now into his mane. Okay. Great. Just going through here little by little and adding some details now at this point. And sometimes I like to pause and pick up the charcoal pencil, add a few details as you go. And if you want to get more white highlights going, that's where these art gum erasers really come in handy, for these little pinpoint areas like the top part of his mane here. So if I point my eraser, I can add some really nice, let me close up on that one. And what I'm doing now is adding some highlights. See that? I can add some highlights into the horse's hair. Definition around our horse's chin here. And remember, you can always come out here and pick up some of that dust out there. I love to do that. That's a good technique. Right in here, looks like we need a little definition of the horse's neck and mane. So we'll put that in. And then on top is kind of a shaded area, so let's make the top part of his mane look like it's got some tone to it, a shadow to it. Okay, rubbing it all in. Like that. An artist's hands. And an artist's table. Oh no, Mom, sorry. We're just making a mess, aren't we? Okay, no, she's proud of us. So, some other lines here. Let's go down in here and make kind of another kind of a shadowy spot. Yep. Okay. Well, you know, I'm getting pretty happy with mine. I think I see a few things that I don't like, and that's always going to be the case with any drawing that we do. Looks like I need to get rid of a little bit of that there. A little too much shadowy. Looks like he's had a hard night there. There we go. That's a little better. And it's always fun to put in some details with your kneaded eraser, like some veins in his front part of his nose here. I think I need a little more help, so I'm going to go to my white eraser, but I want to put a little more white into his front bangs here, like that. So I'm going to erase a little bit of that out of there. Yep. And we're just going forward here, a little more dark to his nose. Well, I don't think people are going to believe that you drew your horse. They're going to say, no, somebody helped you with that. And you're going to say, nope. I drew it all by myself. Get ready for that. People are going to say that about this. So into his mane here, some with my charcoal pencil, some finer details, some actual hairs that you can pick out, like that. And then there may be some other hairs like that I can draw in over here, back here at this part of his head, like so. Have fun with them, make them kind of curly. I think I'm going to actually curl that one up a little bit. His mane in the front needs a little bit of clarification there, though. Okay, I like that better. And then we can define that part a little bit. Okay. All right. Back here on the back part of his mane then, with my charcoal pencil. Adding some hair in there. Okay. And I think it's time to kind of define where his upper mane. Now my first horse had a mane kind of flowing in the wind here. I really like that look, a real dramatic look if I'm doing horses with a really long mane. So I'll show you how I did that. I'm going to pull some shapes back here like this with my eraser. This is my big white eraser. Okay. Oops. And just drawing in some shapes. Wow. Wow. Okay, something about that mane that really makes it look a lot more real, I guess. All right. Sometimes your chalk won't lay down very well. This little spotty area there, I don't like that too much. I'm going to get rid of that. It just doesn't look like a smooth enough blend. So I'm going to see if I can do something about that area right there. A little smoother blend here. Okay. All right. You can really get lost in a picture like this and just keep going and going and going and making improvements to it. I hope you've been able to follow along with us. I hope you've had fun drawing a horse. And thanks for paying attention so well. It's just a really lovely thing to be able to draw a horse. And just like drawing a horse, so many different animals you can draw using basic shapes. Okay. So, let's see, how do we do compared to the first one? Yeah, I think we're pretty much dead on the first one. Maybe I might add a little more definition here to his neck. Here a little bit, and maybe around his bottom of his chin, but that's about it. Oh yeah, I like that too. And as a finishing touch, I could try to bring out some individual hairs in his mane, like that. Okay. All right, well, I have made a big chalky mess on my table, and it was worth every minute of it. Don't you think? So, hey, that's our horse drawing for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Keep practicing. Keep developing your art. And once again, I would love for you to send anything that you've got to me here at the art room. I'd love to see what you did and drew along with us in the art room. So until we meet again, remember, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, you've always got something to be proud of. You're an artist. Okay? So we'll see you back here next time in Mr. Shay's art room.